Python Dynamo Python course. Why would I even do that nowadays? Look, because I started teaching Dynamo and Python a long time ago. I started teaching this in 2018 in YouTube in the Spanish channel. If you want to take a look at those videos, you can. I'm going to leave you the link here. But I wouldn't be teaching this the same way nowadays that I did on those days. Why is that? Well, first of all, Autodesk has changed a lot, and they have been changing the Python implementation language for Revit several times. Now, when I taught this in 2018, we used to run Python in IronPython, which is nowadays obsolete. Now, Autodesk, in the last version, 2026, has bet on PythonNet, and this is a completely different implementation of the language. And before that, it was using C Python 3, which is still the one that they propose as their main implementation language. So yes, there have been changes. Also, AI is changing the market very fast, and this makes me actually find learning Python so much faster and writing it and implementing very fast. However, it still makes a lot of mistakes. It still has a lot of problems with the code. So you must know the basics, the fundamentals, in order to be able to use that AI to your advantage. And finally, if you're not automating your tasks nowadays, you are already 6 years late. So it is a good day in which to start today. So why should I use Dynamo and Python in the projects? I'm assuming that you already know what Dynamo and Python are, but if you don't worry. I have several videos about this on the channel, and I'm going to link them above. Right? There you have the links. So if you don't know what Python or Dynamo are, just go ahead and watch them. So we have Dynamo here in the Manage tab, and this is because Dynamo is very important to manage projects, to manage big amounts of data. And Dynamo is visual programming. That means that whenever we introduce a couple of nodes, such as this one, we may see, if we use the geometry, what we are doing right on the back of our screen. And this is super important because this is giving us the advantage we need as architects and engineers. If you were to compete with AI, where programming was concerned, or with programmers, you will always lose. However, when you're taking into account that this is a specific niche where you have to have the knowledge of both your company and the projects you design, there is where you have the advantage to be a programmer in the architecture or engineering firm. So this is why this is called visual programming. Now, Python is a programming language that you can use with Dynamo. In fact, you even have a specific node located right at script, editor, and then you can see the Python node. Now, Python is the language, but we have different sub-languages or implementations of it. On the older days, we used to be able to run Python with IronPython for Revit, but now we have 3 options that you can choose from. Yes, 3. So which one should I choose? So if you double click on the Python node, it will open up for you and show you up this code that probably today scares you, but it shouldn't. From this mini course on, you won't be scared of this module. So we have these options, which are C Python 3, IronPython 2, and PythonNet 3. Now, IronPython was the one that we would choose before Revit 2022, but now it is obsolete. The developers are no longer working on that version of the language, and this is why Autodesk decided to move on to C Python 3, which is nowadays the official version, which will come with your Revit installed with it. And this was a big step for them to take because IronPython was directly linked with .NET, which is the Windows language, which is directly linked with C#, which is the language. I'm sorry, this is a little sort of complicated, but still stay with me because this is important for you to understand. So C# is the language in which Revit is written, and this connects directly with .NET. IronPython connected directly with .NET as well. However, with C Python 3, we still can access that .NET, but we have to do it in a roundabout way, okay? And they should not be very different, but they have different ways of writing several things where the Python grammar is concerned. So CPython was there right after IronPython, and right now Autodesk is proposing us, the users, to start using PythonNet, which has the base language of CPython 3, so that if you have some code in CPython 3, it wouldn't change a lot, but it connects directly with .NET, which is a really important step towards the connection with .NET. So for this course, which one am I going to use? I'm going to use PythonNet 3, which is the most modern option that Autodesk has introduced. Now, what are you going to be needing in order to follow this course? So you are going to be needing Revit 2026 or whichever option you have, but I'm going to be running this in Revit 2026, so keep that in mind. Then you will also need the Revit lookup. If you don't know what that is, simply look it up in Google and you will be able to download it. I'm going to be using it to select some references and to follow along the Revit API, which is an important part of learning Python and Dynamo for Revit. Then you will need BoldBrain's guidebooks. Now we have two completely free guidebooks that I'm going to leave you down below on the description of this video so that you can download them and use them while you follow my explanations. Then you're also going to need an updated Excel version. Why am I telling you updated Excel version? Because there are some countries that unfortunately still run on the illegal version of Excel 28. Please don't do that. It's not even compatible with Dynamo. So if we're going to use Dynamo with Excel, it will be better to have a compatible version. And last but not the least, we're going to be using ChatGPT. Is that the best option? Probably not. Perhaps I'm going to offer you some other options, but at least do have ChatGPT on hand, because we are going to be looking at this application with Python and the AI, which I think will be great for you because it will make you avoid repeating writing the code like a parrot. Okay? It will make you save a lot of time. Is it perfect? No, it isn't. Does it invent Revit API methods? Yes, it does, but we can still make use of it. So let's do that. So what are we going to be looking at this mini course? First of all, classes, methods, properties, libraries, and all that will come first, because those are the most important pieces for you to understand the Revit API and Python in Dynamo. Then we will have how to link Python with Dynamo Revit, how to understand the Revit API and use it with AI, and some examples. So that is what we are going to be doing along this mini course. If you want to make sure that you don't miss any episode, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you on the next video that I will put right here, and I hope to be able to upload them every 3 weeks. See you then.